Back then, when you dunk on somebody, everybody goes, "That guy's good." And so now I saw him dunk on somebody, so I was like, "Damn." Wow. I was good with that. Once you see somebody dunk on somebody, they're good forever in your eyes. So.
Right.
But yeah, now we're going to go ahead and go into your NFL experience. And what was one of the biggest things you took away from your NFL experience, besides the money, that made you fall in love with football?
I tell you, the experience was so surreal until I mean, when I first got in, it was like, because most people don't know I played arena. I played arena that
You played arena
year.
ball, yep.
Yeah, and I got hurt, and then I got released. And I came back the next year, and the late great Ron McCrone. I mean, I can't words can't describe how grateful I was for everything that he did for me, because he personally called my George Seifert, who was at the Carolina Panthers, got me my first workout.
Uh-huh.
He called guys in Chicago. He personally called Tom, and just to get his workout. So he got me a workout in Jacksonville. And I can tell you, the whole being able to play at home and being one of the first people. I mean, I was there before Rasheen, and Fudge came around later, but I was that first Jacksonville guy, and it was hometown, and they had a lot of responsibility with it, but just being around was awesome. And the funny part is, I didn't know football like everyone else. Like everyone else had played Pop Warner for 4 or 5 years, and then they played middle school, then they played high school, then they played college, and in the pros. Yep. Well, I played 2 years at Pop Warner when I was 9 and 10. Then I played 5 more games when I was 14. And then when I was 17, I played 5 more games. And then when I'm 21, I played a season. Yeah. So, it's kind of fragmented. So just simple stuff being a receiver, just simple keeping your chest over your toes and staring down your defender and hand placement on your releases and all that stuff. And the best experience I had was, and if you see me tweet, I think the world of Jimmy Smith.
Yes.
Yes, he's had his issues. And I tell everyone, they were like, well, does that bother you? I said, no, because he's my family. He's my brother. And if my family and someone in my family was in the same situation, I'm just not going to discard them and, put them to the side. Because that dude taught me, him and Kenny McCarthy, they taught me everything it was, from how to be dressed on the road, how to maintain, how to, after practice, make sure I was catching balls, make sure you're always improving, making sure you're always letting the coaches know that you're one of the first people out there working, from getting in the cold tub to how to run routes. And the greatest advice Jimmy ever gave me is when my rookie year, and this was in training camp, and he said, "Hey,"
I was probably there.
I was only in training camp for a couple. It wasn't even. It might have been 2 weeks, but Jimmy said, "Hey, Micah, this is what I want you to do. Do everything that I do." And I'm like, "That's it?" and he said, "The reason why is when Michael Irvin, when I was in Dallas, Michael Irvin and I guess Harper and those guys said, do everything that I do." And that was the advice. And I the way he ran his routes, I was trying to eat the same food Jimmy ate and Keenan ate. It was everything. Wow. I tell kids now when I coach them, I'm like, dude, don't try to show me how much you know. Just do everything I tell you to do, because I'm telling you, with Jimmy Smith, and then I was fortunate when I played with the Chargers that my receiver coach was the great James Lofton.
Yep.
And I love Coach Coughlin. I love all my coaches. He is my favorite all-time coach of any sport, anything. I mean, he was that good of a coach. And I tell him that every time I talk to him on the phone, every time I get in touch with him, every time, I can, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, I tell him that every time. And unfortunately, he should have been a head coach. And after he didn't get the Raiders job twice, he didn't want to do it anymore. And he's doing an awesome job. But but that experience of being in the NFL and being around the Jags and being a hometown hero and just every day, it was just such a big blessing for me.
Yeah, I can only imagine what it was like to get advice from Jimmy was what a lot of people know about me. Jimmy was probably my all-time favorite Jaguar. Him and Fred Taylor run 1A and 1B to me as my favorite Jaguars. So I can only imagine what it was like to get advice while you're on the field from Jimmy Smith. Because we all know he had his off-the-field issues and everything. But
yes, he did.
But on the field, the man was smooth.
Yes, he was.
He was just it was just smooth. And I get your thoughts on him when you heard that he was going into the pride of the Jaguars. Did you reach out to him and everything?
I did. Well, the first thing is, a couple of years ago we had alumni weekend, and usually what happens is on alumni weekend, the game's that Sunday and Saturday night, Mr. Shah Khan brings in everybody and some of the top brass, and they have a dinner, and guys all hug around and and have a little thing. And I was fortunate enough to be sitting at Mr. Khan's table, and I was like, "Sir, no disrespect. It's your team. You give me great tickets and parking every game, but listen, I know Jimmy has had his stuff, and Jimmy wasn't there, and I said, but 82 has to be in the ring. He is the best. I said, he's the best Jag we've ever had.
Yeah.
I feel the same way you feel about Fred. Fred and Jimmy are like 1A and 1B, how good they were to me.
Mm-hmm.
But just, maybe I'm biased, but he was 5-time All-Pro, Pro Bowl. He was phenomenal to see the type of player he was and how he made a difference. And even my rookie year, and it was Mark was healthy, and it was Mark, and it was Jimmy and Keenan, and Fred that's the year Fred tore his quad, I think.
Yep.
It's growing off the bone.
Oof.
And it was, if those three weren't playing well, especially Jimmy and Keenan, we didn't have a chance to win games. We ended up winning 6-10 with we went 6-10 that year with probably a 2-14 type team.
Wow.
And we should have been way worse. And we ended up lost 2 games, but back to those guys, man, Jimmy, I tell you, he is the epitome of Jaguar football for me. 82 and 28 and everything. Just, I told him, I said, I'm so happy for you, bro. It's like me getting in because I've been a fan, they always joke because I tell them, I said, when the Jags first got the team, me and my brother were sitting on the couch in East Side, Jacksonville, Florida, jumping around saying we got an NFL team.
I hit my head.
That one. I was a hooper, but I was like, and then I had a civic group that we were raising money, and during college, I worked in the West Club.
Yep, concession.
In the West Club, in the concession. And I walked down, and I was like, man, one day I'm gonna play in the stadium. So I said that, but and they joke about it and say, Ross, you've done everything in the stadium possible. I'm like, yep.
I played. I did concessions. I took your ticket.
Yes, I did it all. So I wouldn't trade it for the world. The greatest experience of it.
In 93, when we announced the team that you mentioned, you said y'all were jumping around. I jumped so high, I hit my head on the ceiling fan at my house. Mind you, our ceiling's only 7 foot tall, and I'm 6'2", so it wasn't hard for me to jump up and hit the ceiling fan. But I nailed it, and my dad was like, "I don't think we're getting it." I'm like, "Dad, they just said we're getting it." He goes, "I don't believe they're getting it until that guy says we're getting it." And then when that guy says we got it, I was like, and then they ended up surprising me with season tickets. We had season tickets for maybe the first 15 years of the team.
Wow.
Then my mom and them had to give them up, but now I just go to the games whenever. Like, I get tickets all the time. Yeah. I sat in the club seats for the New York Giant game where it was the alumni game. And and right behind me was Kevin Hardy.
K. Hardy.
Yeah, right next to me was Mike Hollis.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sitting there going, I'm surrounded by all the old Jaguars. And I think that was the game you missed.
Yeah. they usually put us up in the terrace suites.
Yeah.
And I've got a little bougie, so they put us in the club seats. It's like I'm gonna stay home and watch it on TV.
Have you got to go to the pools yet?
Yeah, we did an event there. I was like, I didn't get in. I kind of saw everyone around. I was like, that'd probably be fun for the first 20 minutes, and then after a while, during the second quarter, you're probably like, can I draw off and go somewhere else now?
We went. Me and my son got tickets to the Carolina game.
Okay.
In the pools. I actually won a dance competition at the Steelers preseason game. We're not even going to talk about it. Not going to talk about it. But I got him and I took him. And that boy swam from 11 o'clock when we got there. Got out at halftime to eat boiled shrimp. And then jumped back in the pool. He looked like an old person. But those seats are amazing. And
yes.
The things that they have done to that stadium now is just it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal what they've done, what Shad Khan has done with the Jaguars and the stadium and everything like that. I'm glad Wayne Weaver actually sold it to him because he's done such a solid job with everything, and he hired the right people around him to be able to do all this stuff.
He's been phenomenal. He has been the best owner in the NFL since he's taken over.
Yeah. From
stadium to hiring everyone to the improvements to the locker room, second to none.
From letting you go on his yacht when y'all have y'all's.
We like to hang out every now and then.
That yacht's amazing. I'm sorry, I've heard stories of the yacht, of how nice it is, yes. And I'm like, don't even talk to me about it. They ain't gonna ever let me go on it. So I don't even want to hear about it.
Nice.
But what we're going to do now is we're going to do some rapid-fire questions just to kind of lighten the mood, even though it's pretty light right now.
Okay.
But we're just going to pick your brain about some stuff, and then we'll talk a little Jags of what you think about them right now after we get done with this. So,
sounds good.
Cortez, go ahead and start.
All right, let's go ahead and we're going to go around and talk about our favorite NFL teams, and once you go first, what's your favorite NFL team?
My favorite hometown, Jags.
Exactly. What did you think it was going to be?
Bar none. I know Kevin's obviously a Jags, and I'm the only one that differ. I'm a Broncos fan, so I've been a Broncos fan since 1999.
He had a good year last year, and I had to hear about it.
Yeah, I had a good year, so I'm not one of them crazy fan. I'm not gonna put in your face that I won ties or like that, but for the time being, I'm just like I'm on cloud nine right now. But I am brought back down to earth because we got Mark Sanchez as our quarterback.
Exactly.
But I'm hoping that we can kind of do a la Baltimore Ravens thing where we just have a great defense and a game manager quarterback, just kind of like just get us in field goal situations, and Brandon McMahon just can kick 50 yarders.
Big difference though.
So
they had a guy called Jamal Lewis.
Yeah, true.
Well,
we still got some wideouts and some running backs. So our offense is just our quarterback position is a little bit suspect.
Yeah, and you're missing the big D tackle also.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for him too.
Yeah,
by the way.
Mr. Jackson.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Jackson.
It's all good.
But Coach, who was your favorite NFL team before we got the Jaguars?
That's funny. I was a big Dallas Cowboy fan. I cried for the Cowboys. Man, I cried when Dwight Clark caught the ball in the back of the end zone against the Cowboys. I was young. I was the youngest in my family, but those tears came. And they came fast.
It's funny, though, because people ask me who I was a Cowboy fan. Before, I was like, you only got 2 games on TV back then. You got we got Dallas and we got Miami.
Yep.
And I wasn't going like Miami. Sorry.
Yep.
But Emmitt Smith went to Dallas. So there was Emmitt was always my catalyst for liking football. And I followed Emmitt right over into the Cowboys.
Yep. I was a Cowboy fan.
See, look at that. Smart man.
All right, and I know this is your first love in basketball. You're talking to the basketball guy right here, man. So I'm actually intrigued to see who your favorite NBA team is.
Oh gosh. Well, my NBA team is the Lakers.
Oh!
and this is a true story. I grew up loving. My first love was Dr. J.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, so I kind of watch Philly, and I like Philly, but